Hello, 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 everyone. We are back. The show is called TBR SSF Show. It is myself, the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe. I'm not joined by Pete or Tabino or Tabiki or anyone. It's only myself and you out there, which means Rakaufela, Simo, we are together. Also, Sam, Simone, Erewe, Singwe. The beat goes on. Now, yeah, we know that is the 16th of December. You know, the 16th of December, what does it imply? It's a holiday today. People are busy with festivities and so on. But life has changed completely. If you look at football, in the past, we didn't have football during this time of holidays, Christmas or the 26th of December. But now things have changed. I got shocked. Even in England, they've changed because of the hectic schedule. Now they are playing. Even here at home, we used to play um, January to November, the beginning of December. Then we take a break for 3 months, come back in Feb, and then it changed. Then we then align our calendar together with Afcon because it was giving us a problem. And then no, no, with the World Cup calendar of football. And then um, now I remember at some point there was an argument whether Afcon should adjust their calendar according to the European calendar. Well, they argued. I remember Issa Hayatou was saying, no, we cannot adjust our calendar. We need to have a unique calendar. So, but I don't know whether this was a good move because now I hear that FIFA has allowed the team to release the players 5 days before the tournament, which I don't know whether it will have an impact or not. Today, one thing that I want us to discuss uh, is are we going to win the Afcon? If you look at Bafana Bafana, wherever you are, do you think we'll win this Afcon? Um, Use your own analysis. Do you think we are ready to win the AFCON? If you ask me where I'm coming from, I want nothing else but to win AFCON. We have a very good squad. The coach has done very well with his technical staff, Nane and others. They've done extremely well to be where we are. In fact, sports in general, here at home, at Mzansi, we've done very well. If you go to rugby, they're dominating, they're doing well. Go to cricket, Bavuma and his troops, they are doing extremely well. If you go to athletics, the team South Africa, the Akane Simbini and his teammates, they are dominating in the field of sports. And as for Bafana Bafana, remember we used to be a whippy boys. Everybody used to whip us. Guess what? After 15 years, this time we have qualified for the World Cup. And then this sounds good because um, the coach is in a very luxurious position. He has qualified for two big tournaments. And if you ask me, I think this coach has done well, done extremely well. And I'm also thrilled by the fact that he apologized because if you remember quite well, myself and Coach Kabuzondo were calling for him to apologize so that that chapter we leave it behind. And then because we never accepted what he said, and then he spoke very well. He said, "I'm going to issue a statement, and then I'm not going to answer questions. I'm not a racist. I'm not a sexist. I worked in Morocco. If I was racist, I couldn't have done that." And then he apologized for that unfortunate statement that he issued, or the choice of words. The choice of words were not good. And then, yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion. But where I want to draw sharply, he said, as much as I apologize, I don't condone what Mbogazi has done. which is good because he is in a lot of discipline. All right. And if you look at Bafana Bafana now, our squad, they are so disciplined. And then I listened to various coaches. As you remember, I interviewed Coach Kabuzondo. He also mentioned that discipline, it's high on the list of the requirements in order to succeed. And then you listen to Doc Kumalo. He also said the same thing. Pito Musimani also said the same thing. And then I see discipline. It's a very important element. And then we hear that Mascherano at Inter Miami, he was calling for discipline, and people must go out there, and if they've lost the ball, they must recover and make sure that they get the ball back. So discipline, it's paramount, very paramount. So we forgive you, coach, and then let's continue and do the work. I think the only element that wasn't good for us is around the issue of VAR. The minister had promised that the VAR will be there, and then we got a surprise when the leadership of football went to the portfolio committee. Then Dr. Ivan Koza was very explicit to say they shouldn't ask him about VAR because he knows nothing. He was never consulted. If that was done, I think it's a downfall. Please sort out those things. I think it's correct. Remember, for VAR to succeed, we need PSL. So there is no way you can leave behind Dr. Ivan Koza as one of the key person to assist us to achieve a goal. And then I think it was quite clear that he's not against VAR, but he demanded or he required to be consulted, of which is fair enough because he's leading a body, so he needs to be consulted. And then at the same time, I think SAFA has done well. Amachita, Amachimbos, they played in the World Cup. Banyana, they were excellent, except those little issues that money issues and so on. But it's quiet now. It looks like everything is going smooth. And then again, it was very pleasing to see SAFA coming out with a statement in support of the coach, because I was worried because they were like the missing people. They were missing in action, but maybe they were working behind the closed doors to make sure that when they issue a statement, it's a very good statement, and they've done that. They've issued a statement, and then I'm pleased that the coach has apologized. So it's water under the bridge. But the issue of Mbogazi, I still want to say, you know what, young man, it's important to very disciplined. The coach doesn't hate you. He wants you to be a star, and you can only be a star if you are disciplined. And he mentioned something very important, that you are surrounded by a number of people. Remember, when you climb the ladder, you'll attract so many people. Then he said, the people who are surrounding you, they might be your enemies. They might be your downfall. So you need to be very, very careful. How do you behave is very, very important. Why we see the longevity in terms of Messi and Ronaldo, because the two athletes are very disciplined. And then we don't hear stories about them. They tell you that they work very hard. As David Beckham said, we started 10:30 or 10 o'clock, but Messi's already there at the gym, 7 o'clock in the morning. 3 hours or 3.5 hours before the squad arrives. And then he start doing the routine alone, start practicing whatever that he wants to do. So it's all about that. It's about commitment. Show deep commitment. Nothing comes easy. Everything is hard work. You think we like what we are doing. We don't like sometimes, but we have to do it. We have to do it. Today was a little bit difficult to do the show because of a number of issues. Internet was giving me a problem and all sorts of things. But guess what? You rise above those little things and say, you know what, go out there and do what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I'm asking you, do you think Bafana Bafana will make it? If we'll make it, where do you think we'll work well? And then Remember, we are playing our first game on Monday. Next week, we are playing against Angola. And the coach said, I didn't know Angola, but I had to watch and look at them. I realized that they're a good team. They're good. And I remember the first game, it's very important, very important. If you remember quite well, when Argentina, their first game, because everybody was looking forward for Argentina to win that World Cup. So their first game, they lost. You know, it would have been very easy for them to get derailed by that loss. But instead, they were motivated. The first game is very, very important. And the coach says, in our group, the most tricky team is Angola. And then we are playing them as the first team that we are playing them. So we need to win that one. I'm happy with the squad. All right. Yes, of course, like anybody else, I want that player and that one and that one. But the coach has proved us wrong many times. One of the elements where he proved us wrong is about Evidence Mahop. I was asking myself, why is he playing this guy, man? Because he doesn't score. But you know what? I've seen that Evidence Mahopa is adding more element. He's strong, tall, and he's busy. He's busy. He's keeping the defense busy. They don't relax, even if he doesn't score. But the mere fact that he's always there, I think that's the difference. That's what he said. The difference between Evidence Mahopa and and um, and Mabasa is that, you see, and then Mabasa does not put too much work. Mahopa is putting a lot of work, and then and I see that, and then and sometimes we are fans. We see football the other way around, but the coaches, and if you listen to the majority of coaches, they agree with Hugo Boss. They agree with him to say, look, you need that element. You need somebody who will keep the defense busy and make sure that they work very hard. So yeah, so those are some of the things that we need to consider when we do our things. And then but before that, I want to say I have a group that I've joined, the Mamelodi Sundowns group. I'm not a Mamelodi Sundowns group. They shared something on Facebook, something which they say the most expensive players in our shows. The first one, according to them, but I think those are the facts, to be honest, is Pesitao. Pesitao was bought for, is it 64 million? Uh, Pesitao was bought for 64 million from Sundowns to Brighton. And then Mbogazi, Chicago Fire has spent about 52 million for him. And then Tulani Serrero, 50 million from Ajax Cape Town to Ajax Amsterdam. And then Mbulelo Mabizela, 46 million from Pirates to Tottenham Hotspur in 2003. Rafael Chuku, one of the strikers that used to be a very good striker, and then keeping the defenders very busy. As Kaiser Chiefs, they will tell you, Chuku train. He became so famous by dominating Kaiser Chiefs defense. So because football, not about winning the title, it's a business. You win titles, you get sponsors, and by selling players too, it also makes the team to have enough resources and so on. And then one another element that I want to draw in, I think team like Orlando Pirates, they've shown that if they focus on unearthing talent and developing talent, and then they'll go a long way. Look at the national squad today; it's full of Orlando Pirates because they are focusing on talent, on the local talent. I'm a little bit worried about Mamelodi Sundowns. Now Mamelodi Sundowns has taken another trajectory. Mamelodi Sundowns is full of South American players, Brazilians, and so on. That is why even their dominance in the national squad it's diminishing. So maybe sometimes they need to look at that. And they were the team who were dominating with local boys. So I don't know. So yeah, and then yeah, so that is what the Sundowns fans shared. And then I think that was yesterday. One young man by the name of Decoy, I think he's a brother to Dels, that is his social media name. And then he shared this pic of Rick, the late, who worked with Frank Casino. And then, as you can see there, that was after they won the awards in 2017 for the remix of Whole Thing. And then the boy was very good. Unfortunately, he could not be with us longer than we expected. May his soul rest in peace. And then, yeah, that's Frank there together with Rick. So those are some of the news that I want to share. And then as we talk, remember, I always tell you that we are a financial company. And then being a financial company, we always try by all means to ensure that we educate you. So that is why I'm even showing the element why the teams, it's healthy for them to sell players. Now, what I've seen, Messi has started the Messi Cup in Inter Miami with the under 16. You may underestimate that tournament. It's a big thing. You go to Barcelona with La Masia. La Masia has made Barcelona one of the best team in the world. They've built one of the best stadia, which they'll be opening up soon, the Camp Nou. Is because of their investment in the youth. And then I think, Kaiser Chiefs sometimes they like complaining that whenever they want players, players are being outpriced. And I always said, why can't you focus on a project like La Masia? Develop your own players like La Masia is doing, and then you guys can visit Spain and see how do they do it. Now there's Inter Miami there. Go and check what they're doing because even David Beckham has started a project of the juniors there. So that you invest and ensure. But La Masia is a little bit different. It is taking all the talented players around the world. All right. And then, but if you come on our shows here, Orlando Pirates and Sundowns, they were largely focusing on local, which is good because we need to, help the local boys to grow. And then that also brings some spin-off in terms of economy. Can you imagine Mbogazi from where he comes from? The life in his area is going to change at his home states, his relatives, and so on. Life is definitely going to change. So it's very important. Let's focus on building the upcoming. And I think has achieved the mistake that they did when they let Arthur Zwane go. Because I know Arthur Zwane was very strong on that thing of development. And then if you look at Amazulu now, they are doing extremely well. And I suspect maybe they focus on ensuring that they bring the up and coming because Arthur is very strong in recruiting youngsters. So yeah, so those are some of the things that we need to check at all times. And then let's see. I want to share with you the books that we have so that during this time, which is holidays, maybe you are relaxed, make sure that you get yourself a copy, and then when you are free, you read books to empower yourself. Make sure that you amass knowledge because it's not about how much you have, it's about the knowledge that we have, how to deal with money once you have it. And then if you don't have it, how do you ensure that you attract it? Because very important. It's all about How do you attract it? I was talking to somebody the other day and saying, working for yourself is very difficult because you need to create your own income, which is a bit difficult. And many people don't like that. They want the easy one. Let me work. And then if there's no salary or the money is shrinking, then I'll ask an increment. All right. But when you are self-employed, you create your own income. You create your own money. Now, the first book that I want to check with you is this one by Dr. Darlene Small, an economist by profession, who worked for the Reserve Bank for 33 years as an advisor to governors of the Reserve Bank. The first or the last person that she advised was the late Tito Mboweni. And this book is called How to Win the Wealth Game, The Art of Money. So if you want that copy, just give us a shout. And then the other book is this one by Nom Summers Bugo. It's called Entrepreneur Awaken with a Drive. All right. A former teacher herself, but now she's into hospitality business. And she's got about more than 100 rooms because in hospitality business, we don't count the number of institution you have, we count the number of rooms. All right. And then there's also this one, how to get out of bad debts, use other people's money and resources to get rich. If you really want to make money, you should use other people's money, which is debt. And then remember, there's good and bad debt. Use the good debt to ensure that you amass money. And then the other one is this one, Secrets for Becoming Rich, which comes in first and second edition. All right. You can get it in first edition, you can get it in second edition. So it's up to you. So also that one, you get it from us. And then let me share another one. And this one is called How I Turned 500 Rand into a million rand business. Anyone can do it. If one person can do it, why not you? And guess what? I also learn by reading from other people. And as I speak to you, a very good friend of mine, those who have been following me, you know that I have a very long-standing relationship with Chomani, who has been doing very well in the broadcasting world. And then he has written his life journey. And I can tell you, if you can lay your hands in that book and learn, you'll see. So the challenges that you are facing, they are not only your challenges, all right? All of us, we face challenges, but how do we respond to those challenges? That's what is important, you see, because other people, instead of responding positive, they crumble, all right? So, yeah, and this book, you can also get it as an ebook from Amazon. If you want it, you can also get it as an ebook from Amazon. So those are some of the books. And it doesn't end there. We also have what you call the membership club. The membership club, in this membership club, I'm busy with mentoring program. I'm mentoring those who wants to learn about money because look, you need to be mentored if you are to succeed. I myself, I went for mentoring program in 2009. So you learn from others, you know. Ngesizulu bathi indlela ebuzwa kwabaphambili. So now, if you really want to make it, and then yeah, can give us a shout and say, look, I want to be part of the mentoring program. How can I do it? Okay, yeah, and then so those are some of the things that we would like to share with you. And then yeah, and then let me go to the Messi special. You know that Messi is in India. It was like a 4-day, 4 cities tour. All right, but guess what? He should have left like yesterday. But unfortunately, because of the huge demand, he has been requested to extend his stay. And then now this guy is a real phenomenon. You may deny it, but it's a fact. He is a phenomenon. He's like a movement because look, he's not even playing just for people to come and see him. It's a stampede. And then I remember there was one stadium, they said they had about 110,000 people coming to watch him. And then last night, apparently, said it's about 80,000 people coming to watch him. And he has already indicated that probably maybe need to come back to India, but this time, play this time, play again. So we'll watch that space very closely and see what's going to happen. Now, let's see. There is something that I want to share. As I say, they've extended his stay for him to stay a little bit longer. Now, these are the crowds that were coming to the stadium to come and watch him. Can you see how full it is? So the first one, the first event, it was the organizers didn't organize well, the first event. Instead, they had celebrities from India and then actors, singers, and so on. Instead of giving the people to see him, they were the one who were, they surrounded him. People could not see them. They could not see him. And then there was violence because of that, because he was there for 10 minutes for his safety, and then he was whisked out of the stadium. But I think after that event, the following events were much, much, much organized. They were much better. And then people could see him in the big screen. He walked around the stadium. And then he went there with Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul. Remember Rodrigo de Paul? He calls himself the bodyguard. He's the bodyguard of Messi. Yeah. So now, as I said, they say these business people, they requested him that, please, man, extend your stay. They wanted to have a dinner with him. I don't know whether it was last night or was tonight. And then he was en route to Spain. Remember, he's got a house in Spain. So now he had to turn back and so on. And then, we'll watch the space. Maybe one day he's going to play there in India. The people of India, they've showed him love. Remember, India is not a soccer-loving nation, all right? It's not a soccer-loving nation, but they were there. And guess what? They brought their hero, Sachin Tendulkar, to grace the occasion. Sachin Tendulkar, if you love cricket, no one doesn't know Sachin Tendulkar. And then both men, they've lost the World Cup in their career. And both men, they've won the World Cup trophy. And both men, they've received the MVP, the Most Valuable Player award for the World Cup. And both men wore number 10 as their jersey number. And both men are the goats in their own right. So, yeah, it was nice to see that Sachin Tendulkar being there. So that's Lionel Messi. And then, as you can see, he's with Suarez, he's with Rodrigo de Paul. The other element that I've picked up with Messi is very loyal. I mean, he goes with his friends, Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul, to go there. Not only himself in the limelight, he brings his friends together. So this is a real exciting. It was a very, very exciting thing. Here the MC was trying to test whether people will shout more for Sachin Tendulkar more than Lionel Messi. But this test did not work well because they shouted more for Lionel Messi. But Sachin is a hero there, that part of the world in India. But in the cricket sport, Sachin Tendulkar is a big name. He reminds me of Brian Lara. Those are the big names in cricket. So yeah, and then Sachin, you could see, is a very laid-back guy, cool, calm, and connected. And then that was the event. So thank you so much for supporting us by subscribing and commenting. We are looking forward to the new year and see what's going to happen. And then hopefully, things are going to be very nice. But remember my question was, do you think we'll win the Afcon? If we will win the Afcon, how are we going to win the Afcon? Where do you think we are strong? If you ask me where I'm sitting, I'm looking for nothing else but a win from the coach. And I have a strong belief that this coach will take us there. And then when it comes to the World Cup, please, coach, take us to the semi-final of the World Cup. Those two for me. But this guy has done well, has done extremely well. Now we know. I remember at some point there was one player was in there. Then he said, "No, don't worry, we'll replace him." As much as Chiefs fans, not all of them, some Chiefs fans, they are very angry at him because he doesn't select Kaiser Chiefs, And then I hear that UDM has lodged what you call a complaint with what is that human rights. I don't know whether it's because Bantu Holomisa is known to be a staunch fan of Kaiser Chiefs. So maybe that's not that's not a link that one can draw. I think this coach has done well. He even confirmed himself that he has done extremely well, even more when he was in Morocco, where he won the Afcon. So he said this one, yeah, and I can agree because I remember when he came here, we didn't have squad, man, and then I was a little bit worried. See him going around trying to make sure that we get players and so on. Him and Ngane, Herman Kelele, as affectionately known as Ngane, they've done well. He has already recommended that Ngane should continue. I wouldn't disagree with that, but I would have loved to see Ngane to work with Pito because I still believe Pito still have some unfinished business there at Bafana Bafana. So thank you so much. Please continue to subscribe and like, and also tell me whether we'll win this World Cup. I mean this Afcon. If we are to win this Afcon, where do you think we are strong? In terms of goalkeepers, I'm fine. I'm fine with those goalkeepers. I know that some Chiefs fans, they want Brendan Peterson. I'm fine with these goalkeepers. Not necessarily fine. The coach has made a decision, and as long as he's winning, so it's difficult to challenge that, right? Remember, he cannot please all of us. Others will be happy, others won't be happy. So please, guys, let's continue to support Bafana Bafana, to support our teams. Remember, this afternoon they're playing Ghana as a preparation for the Afcon. Monday, we are playing Angola. Let's follow Bafana Bafana and ensure that we support them all the way. I thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. We are back. My name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe from TBR, which simply means the Big R Solutions. Here I'm representing the company called the Big R Financial Service Provider, Financial Services, which is an authorized and registered service provider. Our license number is FSP 47430. I'm talking to all government employees age 55 and above who are already thinking of exiting the system. They either want to go on pension or they want to resign. Two things that comes to mind. How do I save? How do I save on penalties? How do I ensure that the tax is not so huge? What can I do to make sure that I achieve those goals? Now, if you want to know how to achieve those goals, come to us, drop us a WhatsApp, we'll call you. The WhatsApp number is very simple. It's 067 915 1447. 067 915 1447. Drop us a WhatsApp. Don't call, but drop us a WhatsApp. And then we are working together with Allen Gray on this product, on this project. So Allen Gray is our product supplier. So we assist people using that product supply. So it's up to you to give us a shout or drop us a WhatsApp. We'll therefore come back to you. I thank you.
Kgotsong, ke le tsebetsa ka buka ya ka e buang ka tsela yeo ke tsamaileng bophelong ba ka. Le tla utlwa ka mathata ao ke bileng le ona le katleho yeo ke e fihletseng. Hape le hore radio e nkahile jwang hore ke fetole bophelo ba ka. Takatso ya ka ke hore o fumane buka ena ya ka e tla fetola bophelo ba hao. Ya buang ke Dr. Chomani. Take it easy.